Women's Power to Heal Mother Earth. I am Maha Tripurasundari. Today I'll be talking about moon medicine. In essence, healing the mind of humanity. In order to heal the mind of our universe, our world, we must reclaim the feminine goddess and her Shakti power and understand what this means for the preservation and perseverance of humankind. Over centuries of dumbing down the mother consciousness, our Shakti powers have lessened. In fact, we are not even aware of them. As women, goddess, warrior, priestess, mothers, empress, poetess, life-giver, earth lover, we have been whipped into a state of forced inertia and compromised quietness. But the Shakti is and always will be alive. And in this work of the 16 Shakti, the medicine path, the moon medicine as I call it, is one of the most effective ways to awaken that which is the immutable innate force and power of our feminine Shakti, the goddess mother within. Mind you, this power contains at its very core the immense sensitivity, vulnerability, anxiety, and uncertainty. As women in the modern culture, we are often forced to build a shield around our heart, and we suffer through the womb because that is not our natural and pure nature. So it behooves us all to tear away at this patriarchal shield, this finite shield, so that we can pull back into ourselves, experience and endure the emotions of being the primordial divine feminine. They are erratic, they have always been. They've always been unsafe in a certain way, but they are our emotions, and therefore they are Shaktified with the power of universal reason and the power that the goddess mother, Lalita Maha Tripurasundari, knows about. As women, we carry centuries of traumatized memories within our cellular body. These are meant to keep us growing, expanding into our feminine life force, unless, of course, we retract in an inert and frozen state because the hurt, the depth of despair, is too much to bear. To reclaim the Shaktified force of spirit within our body, mind, and psyche, we must first learn the potent medicines revealed at each turn of the cyclical lunar wheel of Lalita Maha Tripurasundari, the supreme goddess of the universe. Every day she gives us a Nitya, her Nitya. Every day the Nitya transports with her medicine for us. All we need do is open heart and psyche to her. Even if we do not know the mantras, yantras, and tantras, for revering and paying our venerations to Mother, the mere understanding of opening to each one of her Nitya from the very dark moon every night, every day, to the full moon is a 15 daily cycle. Observing that gives us immense medicines to healing the mind. Not only our minds as women, but once we can have a handle on healing the mental and psychic states, and to come back to the core of our power, of our potency, of nurturance and nourishment, as we are meant to be as the vehicle of women, then, and only then, can humanity heal. The 16 lunar medicines of the Shakti have been given by women, to women by the goddess herself, as she swells and moves and waxes into fullness. And her lunar energy increases every day from the dark moon wheel to the full moon. These potent lunar cyclical movement have been lost to humanity for many centuries. So we must reclaim them. We must reclaim our inherent power to nurture and to heal by resetting the powerful phases of the goddess moon within us, within our womb, within the deepest core of our being as women. Observing the 16 notches of the goddess moon in her waxing phase, we can nourish ourselves and by extension the universe, our community, family, and so on. With her potent medicine specific to each of her phases, we do not have to buy these medicines, we do not have to pay for them. The only price she extols is our veneration and understanding and openness to her during each of her cyclical phases or each notch of the moon in the 15-16 Nityas. And we'll get to the 15-16 in a moment. By emulating the Supreme Goddess, we are mirroring the ebb and flow of her waxing moon as she moves from notch to notch along her eternal journey. In so doing, we invite her immutable divine essence to live within us, to awaken our womb space for whatever the womb may need, meaning the cleansing of ancestral wombs, the bringing in of new life, the ojas with fertility, whatever it is each individual woman needs. This practice opens the womb space and helps her to heal it, because therein lies the center, the foundation of our strengths as women. The secret to fulfillment is that we must bring awareness to the destabilizing experiences we've been forced through the conduit of the last few centuries with. The experiences of fear, rage, angst, betrayal, and the like. All experiences that almost every woman understands today, because these have been the emotional mechanisms in her own natural and organic response to what has been running counter to her own divine, primordial Shakti nature. Look, as women, we are destined to endure and journey through the cavernous abyss, the abyss of darkness. We ourselves were born in the darkness of the womb, coming through that very difficult, challenging, suffocating journey, then into the open atmosphere. We give birth, we bring through that journey We are the only ones who, through that womb, the Mother Supreme womb, can bring our children, our men, our women into the world. It cannot happen without the cavernous abyss that we carry within ourselves as women. And that abyss, which is symbolic of our physiological and psychic womb. We've been resented for this by men, by our children, by other women, by the government, by nations, by religions, only because of their fear, their lack of comprehension, and basically based in their lack of faith in the Divine Mother. The ego and the smallness of minds could never understand the subtle and revitalizing power of the Shakti. The Shakti's power is not about control. It's not about controlling people and nations and life and money and farming and food. No, it is about cooperation. It is about nurturance. It is about keeping the foundational good of the earth and preserving it. That is its only look-see. It has no other modus operandum. And therefore, with such vast power, beyond the minds of those who are ambitious and egotistical and egoic and driven, they could not understand the subtlety of such a vastness of power. Tripurasundari teaches us about this, the goddess of the Kala Chakra, of all of time and space. But in the moon, she brings it to Mother Earth, she brings it to humanity. She opens her own womb and her heart to the women, so that through their subtle umbilical cord that is forever connected to the moon, she can feed and nourish them at each phase, at each cycle of her stupendous turn of the lunar wheel. We are on a womanly journey that mirrors that of Lalita Tripurasundari. She is considered the central goddess of the Sri Vedic tradition, also translated as the auspicious wisdom lineage of Hinduism. She is the supreme goddess, the manifestation of the Parashakti. The Nityas represent the 15 propitious lunar days called Tithis, and that is each phase of the waxing moon, each phase possessing Lalita's yantra, mantra, tantra, and ritual veneration. It is so divine and so empowering and so vast that it goes beyond the comprehension of the mind. But suffice it to say that we women have enough innate psychic understanding of our own Shakti nature that it will all come back to us and be rayed and be revealed in tremendous ways as we open to the glorious movement of the Nityas, of Mother Moon. If we just look up to the open sky and see her and understand she's in her waxing phase or she's in her waning phase. And in another episode, we'll talk about her waning phase because we are right now concentrating on the 15 turn notches of her moon, which is halfway around her moon from new moon to full moon. And that is because the lunar energy swells into magnificent potency. And this is the medicine that she brings us. And each notch of her journey along the waxing phase yields medicine to us that we can receive in abundance. We will look at these medicines in my upcoming course, The Moon Medicines. But for now, let us understand who Lalita Maha Tripurasundari really is, at least in terms of the luminous, exquisite moon up in the sky. We say that she has 15 phases, sometimes 16 phases, but the 16th is herself, and each of the 15 phases is also herself. It is her rays, her emanation that has manifested into a Nitya Devi, a goddess who is connected, who is part of the collateral of the great divine Lalita. She's called the 16th. This is the full moon state, by the way, which is Sodashi in Sanskrit. And she's called Sodashi because she is the supreme goddess, the divine Parashakti herself, and hence her residence in the 16th kala, or phase of the chakra, of her kala chakra, time chakra, which is also represented by the moon, is not visible to mortal eyes or to the mortal knowing. Not until we women open up our hearts and womb to her will we see her, truly see her, in the Purnima state, in the full moon state. Tripurasundari, her beauty, it is said, the literal meaning of Tripurasundari is her beauty transcends the three worlds. Lalita, the play of the universe, the great, great Mother, Supreme